Welcome back to Going Off Grid My Way, everybody. As you can see, there's a big pile of lumber sitting here. Got dropped off this morning. Today's Saturday, the 20 something, 22nd, 23rd. That is one load of two that is coming. Let me show you what I got done today. The second load should be here Thursday or sooner. I don't know if anybody can guess what this is, but that's the old trusses, the old plywood. I carefully took that apart so that I can reuse most of this plywood. As you can see right here, I only took off the first 7 foot of trusses, and I put up the knee wall in the front, and well, the first 6.5 foot, and then the long side, and then the other back one's already up. But just that alone up to here filled all my garbage cans with shingles, so I stopped. Like I said, I'll start ripping the rest of these trusses out over the next couple days. Mind you, I'm going all the way to, where is it? This little spot right here somewhere. But this peak's got to come off first because that's over top of the original roof. So that's a job in itself. And then I can strip out the rest of the trusses. I probably won't go past here until I have the first couple pieces up over here, and just work along as I go with both putting up and taking down. I'll take you inside here and give you a quick look. As you can see, there's trusses missing. You can see the knee walls. That brought me up to 8 foot. I started putting the one in the closet here, and these ones are already up, I believe 16 foot that way, because I cut the trusses off. Most of them are either hanging or sitting on the closet wall temporarily. I also did some mudding, got some of that patched up. Not done. Definitely got a lot of sanding and another light skim coats, but a little bit of progress at a time. Like I said, I'm doing this by myself, so it's definitely going to take me a little while. I might have some help to get the trusses, the new ones, built and put them up. Maybe 2 to 3 people to help me, depending on when we actually do it, depending on their availability. So we will see when that happens. But right now I could put up the first 3-4 trusses without an issue as soon as I get them built. The problem is the first load of lumber that I got, they didn't have anything over 16 foot, and I need 18 and 20 foot boards, and they didn't have them. So I had to go somewhere else and order the rest of the supplies. They also only had a few of the mending plates that I need to put the trusses together. So I got what they had, bought them out, and then I added the rest of those onto this other load, hoping I have enough. What else? I also got the ice guard that's gonna go over top of the plywood. We got 40 sheets of plywood plus everything I'm taking off of here. I'm gonna salvage, like I said, as much as possible. I got a few boards left over from the walls. I got the boards that I took off this back side sitting inside the house, and then I got the ones I took off the front laying outside right now stacked up. So as far as electrical goes, I'm just notching out the boards and the wires just hanging temporarily. Once I get the trusses up, we will be securing all that back up and running the wiring properly throughout the entire house. Well, to the section I'm redoing this year. So Yeah, this has been fun. Let me tell you, having the proper ladder makes all the difference. I don't have an 8-foot ladder, um, which makes this very difficult to get to the ceiling. All I have is a 2.5-foot step ladder, and I ended up using the bunk bed frame to stand on to pry all this out. But as you can see, I had to pick up and clean up because I can't stand working in a mess, and there was so much crap on the floor I didn't want to get hurt. So I threw all the insulation, stacked it all up on here, what I didn't have enough bags for. So this is where we're at. Like I said, a couple days we'll have the rest of the lumber, and then I will be starting building the trusses, and then I'll do a video on that. I also got a job doing an 80-foot fence, so that's a day's work right there. And then I also got a job to do a what do you say, 8x12 chicken coop. They want a brand new one built because the one that they have apparently came with the house, and they've been there 40 years. So the roof caved in over this winter, so they need a new one. So there's another day-and-a-half project right there, just trying to make that extra money everywhere I can. I will also be working my second job and my main job this week. I spent probably 5.5 hours on this today. I know it don't look like much, but this whole front side had shingles on it, and I took all the shingles off. Then I pried up all the tar paper, most of it. Pried up all the plywood from underneath so I could save every piece of it that I can. And then I built these knee walls, at least this section and this front section, which, let me tell you, 15 foot of knee wall is pretty heavy to be trying to lift up on a wall by yourself. I'm not even sure what time it is. It's getting dark. I need to eat something. I haven't eaten since this morning. Oh, yesterday our power went out for a good 8 hours for no reason at all. We didn't even have a storm. So that was fun. And as you guys know, with no power, you have no water when you're on a well, unless you have a battery backup, which I don't currently have. But that's definitely something that's going to be changing here once I get this first 32 foot of roof up. I get the metal on it in the spring. That'll be my next step, is getting the solar panels up on the roof and getting that hooked up and a battery backup. I will probably just be connected to the grid with the battery backup as I build my system up. That way I can start off with the 3 panels that I have and add as I go, and if nothing, it won't pay my entire electric bill, but it will lower it to where it's a little more manageable. And then as I add panels, once I get a zero bill and they start sending me a check, at that point I will, when I feel comfortable that I have enough panels and enough battery power, I will then disconnect from the grid and be completely on battery power. I will also be adding at least one wind turbine and possibly a second, depending on how that works out and how much energy I actually get from that. I don't want to spend the money and then not get any results out of it. So that's all I got for today. I will talk to you guys later, and like, share, subscribe, and comment.